Are you the kind of teacher who asks the following questions? Is it not true that Magellan discovered the Philippines? The poem The Raven A. Was written by Edgar Allan Poe. B. Was written by Elizabeth Browning. C. Was written by Omar Khayyam. D. Was written by Jose Garcia Villa. When did the People Power Revolution take in the Philippines? A. February 23, 1986. B. After the snap election. C. March 1, 1956. D. After Valentine's Day in 1986. Who was the author of the book quoted in the footnote of Chapter 1 of the present textbook? If you answered yes to any of the choices presented, then you have a big problem. According to World Watch, the Philadelphia Trumpet, in August 2005, 13% of students who got low grades in exams are caused by faulty test questions. Low level doesn't mean easy. Write an essay explaining the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, incorporating at least 5 of the 7 causes discussed in class from the writings of Gibbon and Toynbee. And high level doesn't mean hard. Which movie did you like more, Wall-E or Cars? Why? According to Evaluating Educational Outcomes by Oriondo and Antonio, the evaluation of pupils' progress is a major aspect of the teacher's job. Our students were trained to memorize information. After they have memorized facts, then what? What are tests for? It is to inform learners and teachers of the strengths and weaknesses of the process. Motivate learners to review or consolidate specific material. Guide the planning or development of the ongoing teaching process. Create a sense of accomplishment. Determine if the objectives have been achieved, and encourage improvement. These are the characteristics of good tests. Validity. The extent to which the test measures what it intends to measure. Reliability. The consistency with which a test measures what it is supposed to measure. Usability. The test can be administered with ease, clarity, and uniformity. Scorability. Easy to score. Interpretability. Test results can be properly interpreted and is a major basis in making sound educational decisions. Economical. The test can be reused without compromising the validity and reliability. To be able to prepare a good test, one has to have a mastery of the subject matter, knowledge of the pupils to be tested, skill in verbal expression, and the use of the different test formats. Table of specifications. A two-way chart that relates the learning outcomes to the course content. It enables the teacher to prepare a test containing a representative sample of student behavior in each of the areas tested. Tips in preparing the table of specifications. Don't make it overly detailed. It's best to identify major ideas and skills rather than specific details. Use a cognitive taxonomy that is most appropriate to your discipline, including non-specific skills like communication skills or graphic skills or computational skills if such are important to your evaluation of the answer. Weigh the appropriateness of the distribution of checks against the student's level, the importance of the test, and the amount of time available. Match the question level appropriate to the level of thinking skills. These are the examples of student activities and verbs for Bloom's cognitive levels. Bloom's cognitive level. Knowledge. Student activity. Remembering facts, terms, concepts, definitions, and principles. Words to use in item STEM. Define, list, state, identify, label, name, who, when, where, and what. Comprehension. Explaining or interpreting the meaning of material. Explain, predict, interpret, infer, summarize, convert, translate, account for, give example, and paraphrase. Application. Using a concept or principle to solve a problem. Apply, solve, show, make use of, modify, demonstrate, and compute. Analysis. Breaking material down into its component parts to see interrelationships or hierarchy of ideas. Differentiate, compare, contrast, distinguish from, how does, relate to, and why does work. Synthesis. Producing something new or original from component parts. Design, construct, develop, formulate, imagine, create, change, write a poem or short story. Evaluation. Making a judgment based on pre-established set of criteria. Appraise, evaluate, justify, judge, which would be better. KPU paradox. Knowledge, remembering. Answer the question what, where, and when. Process. Application and analysis. Answers the question how. Understanding, analysis. Answers the question why. The levels of cognitive. The levels are the guiding post in constructing test items. Regardless of what type of teacher-made test the teacher will prepare, the items must follow the pattern set for evaluation. The following items are features of levels with regards to the objectives of the lessons. Knowledge includes those objectives that deal with recall, recognize facts, terminology, etc. Example, sino ang kauna-unahang bayani ng Pilipinas na nakipaglaban sa mga Kastila? Comprehension includes some level of understanding. It requires the learners to change the form of communication to see the connection of relations among parts of communication, interpretation, or draw a conclusion or inference. Example, bakit sa tabing dagat naninirahan ang mga sinaunang Pilipino? Application. It requires the pupils to use previously acquired information in a setting other than the one in which it was learned. Example, alin sa mga sumusunod ang uri ng pamumuhay noong panahon ng martial law? Analysis. It requires the pupils to identify the logical errors, point out the prediction or erroneous inference, differentiate among facts, opinions, assumptions, hypotheses, or conclusions, draw relationships among ideas or to compare and contrast. Example, alin sa mga sumusunod ang dapat ginawa ng mga Pilipino upang makamit ang inaasam na kalayaan laban sa mga Kastila? Synthesis. Objectives at this level require the pupils to produce something unique or original. Test questions at this level require the pupils to solve unfamiliar problems or combine parts to form a unique or novel whole. Example, bilang mag-aaral, paano ka makakatulong sa pagpapanatili ng kalinisan ng ating kapaligiran? Evaluation. Under this objective, the learners are required to form judgments about the value of methods, ideas, people, or products that have a specific purpose. Example, alin sa mga sumusunod ang higit na mabisang paraan ng pagsugpo sa ipinagbabawal na gamot? Making a good test takes time. Teachers have the obligation to provide their students with the best evaluation. Test play an essential role in the life of the students, parents, teachers, and other educators. Break any of the rules when you have a good reason for doing so. It is better to do something and fail rather than do nothing and play it safe.